Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I am happy to say that we've gotten our very first glimpse, our very first look at the next upcoming Battlefield title called Battlefield Hardline. Battlefield's Twitter and EA's Twitter have been showcasing their new website for this. It's very simplistic, it doesn't have a whole lot of information, but it confirms the massive leak that just happened earlier today that was showcasing some things that we can expect in the upcoming title. And so really just to kind of jump on in here and get into all of the juicy information, Battlefield Hardline is going to be a cops versus robbers first-person shooter. The first time I heard about this, I was a little surprised. Like, when I think of Battlefield, I usually think of epic warfare. I think of tanks down on the ground, I think of jets flying around up in the sky, helicopters, 64-man gameplay, epic large warfare. Like, that's what I think about Battlefield. And while I'm not saying that can't be the case for a cops versus robber themed game, what it leads me to believe is that this upcoming title is probably going to be on a smaller scale, and it's going to be more focused on infantry-based gameplay. The first reason why I say this is simply thematically. Like, when you think cops versus robbers, you usually don't think of tanks coming into play. You usually don't think of jets flying around up in the sky, and it's usually a stick-up type of deal, where you're using your primary weapons, maybe you got some AK-47s, M16A3s, and they're both duking it out. And so that's the first reason why I think this is probably going to be on a smaller scale. The other reason why I say this is that with the recent leak, we've gotten a glimpse to some of the vehicles that are going to be available in the game, and none of them include tanks or jets. There are a couple of helicopters, which does make sense with the theme, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of cars. You got some what looks like police cars, you got some heavily armored vehicles, there are a couple of motorcycles, but it seems like it's going to be more of just some vehicles to get from point A to point B. And so not only thematically does it make sense for this to be more focused on infantry, but it also seems just from the list of vehicles, and this could be not the full list. They may surprise us in when they actually do reveal the game and actually showcase some gameplay, but from the list here and thematically, it would make sense that the upcoming Battlefield title is going to be more focused on infantry-based gameplay. And honestly, I am not opposed to that. Like, when I play Battlefield 4, or really any Battlefield title, I'm usually playing as an infantry. I enjoy vehicle-based gameplay, I enjoy that type of style, but for the most part, I'm going to be down on the ground, I'm going to be using my primary weapon, helping out everyone else who's playing as an infantry, and going from objective to objective. And so I still think that this could work. It may not have the epic warfare that a lot of people are expecting when they think of Battlefield, but if done correctly, and if the mechanics are solid, this could be a nice spin on the franchise and be a nice change of pace that a lot of us have been looking for. We also get a glimpse of some of the weapons that are going to be available in the game, and most of them are pretty obvious. We get like the AK-47, I see a G36C, a P90, an M16A3, a UMP45. Most of these weapons we played in past Battlefield titles. But there's also some very unique ones, and the one that caught me completely off guard is the Bat. I am not exactly sure how the Bat is going to work. I don't know if it's going to be something like in Team Fortress with the Scout class where you run around and you can just beat your enemy into a bloody pulp, or maybe it's just a faction-specific weapon. The reason why I'm speculating this is that when I think of someone who's about to rob a liquor store, I think of someone who's probably going to bring a bat to do it. They want to intimidate the cashier, they want to get the money as quickly as they can, and if I'm getting charged at by someone who has a bat and is about to swing it at my dome piece, I'm probably going to do whatever they say. And so this leads me to believe that some of the weapons or some of the gadgets may be specific for cops, and there might be some others that are specific to the robbers. Another cool weapon we have here is the taser, and the reason why I find this one interesting is that in real life, a taser is a non-lethal weapon. It's supposed to hurt like a bitch and get the person to stop doing whatever the hell that they're doing, but it's not meant to kill the person. And so for a first-person shooter, where usually the objective of the first-person shooter is to kill the enemy, I'm curious to learn how this is going to be incorporated into the gameplay. The only thing that I could think of is that this could be game mode specific, or it could also just be a very humiliating way for you to take out your target. So if you're playing as the cops, use a taser on one of the robbers, and they're stunned for a couple of seconds. And while they're stunned, that could give you the opportunity to go over and handcuff them. And so the entire process takes a long time to do it, but maybe you're heavily rewarded with a bunch of points, and it could also take them off the map, or be the same thing as killing them, but in a very humiliating fashion. And so I'm very curious to learn how the taser is all going to work out in a first-person shooter. The last weapon that I want to talk about from this list is the crossbow. And if it's anything like the Battlefield 3 version, I am going to be a happy camper. I loved the crossbow back in that game because it was one of the most skillful weapons, but also one of the most satisfying weapons to use. Like, if you were able to line up a shot, lead the target, get the bullet drop just right, and nail a headshot at long range, it was one of the coolest things in the game. And so if it's anything like it was in Battlefield 3, I am going to be just ecstatic. It also looks like customization is going to be full force in the upcoming title. We got a bunch of different scopes here. I see a bipod, but also what looks to be maybe extended mags or a different ammo type. We'll have to wait and see what that one is. I see different types of suppressors, different barrels, different stocks. So if you want to customize your weapon, it looks like that is going to not be a problem in Battlefield Hardline. But one of the biggest things that I'm excited about for the title is the idea of finally having a wide variety of different game modes when it launches. The Battlefield franchise has always fallen back to Conquest and Rush. Like, those two modes are the bread and butter of the series, and while they're phenomenal, they're amazing for the franchise, they haven't had a very easy time deviating from that formula. Like, Domination, for example, is just a smaller version of Conquest, and Obliteration is pretty much Rush, but a tug-of-war type of system. And so what I'm interested in learning is how are they going to incorporate the cops versus robbers theme into the different game modes? Are we going to be able to rob a bank and then a couple minutes later the cops will show up to try to stop us? Are we going to be able to escort a vehicle as the cops while robbers try to take it out or try to steal what's inside of it? And maybe there are a couple of different convoys around the map trying to get towards a certain objective. There's a lot of different options that I would like to see, and I'm hoping that they deviate from the normal formula to give us something a little bit different. So I cannot wait to see what they come up with. One thing that I was a little disappointed to learn about, though, is that this will be developed for all 5 systems. So if you own an Xbox 360, an Xbox One, a PlayStation 3, 4, or you play on PC, you will be able to buy and play Battlefield Hardline. And the reason why I was a little disappointed by this isn't because I hate people that play on an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3. Like, I want you still to have fun. I want you to still play the new fun games. But at the same time, I was sort of hoping that the next Battlefield title was going to be a next-gen experience. I was hoping that they wouldn't have to accommodate for the old hardware, which is honestly way outdated. Like, it has no business running even Battlefield 4. And so I was hoping that they would be able to bring us a new and improved next-gen experience, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Who knows? Maybe Battlefield Hardline, their vision for the game isn't going to be hampered by the old-gen systems, but it basically just guarantees that this isn't going to be revolutionary by any means. But that is about all of the cool new information that was leaked about Battlefield Hardline, and so I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the upcoming title. Are you excited to get your cops and robbers on? Do you like the theme? Are you excited for the upcoming game? Let me know down below. But until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.